Hi, you're watching Martial Reader. In the previous chapter, Pharaoh convinces all the Braves to go with him. Now that the Braves are united, they easily pass through the challenges they encounter. And with that, their relationship grows stronger. Now they even enjoy the company of each other, and was partying after a rough day. Now on to the next part. At a later time, after they have finished partying, now everyone is sleeping while Pharaoh stands guard. Then Muscle Uncle awakens as he feels he is about to relieve himself. So he stands up and goes to do his business, and as he finishes and was going back to his bed, he stumbles on something and faceplant on the ground. Still phased, he asks how can she be sleeping right now? Shouldn't she be on guard in case of an attack? But to his surprise, she was covered in blood and that's why she was lying on the ground. So he went over to look at her if she is still alive, but she was long dead already. With this he plans to warn everyone as soon as possible, but someone started cornering him. So he shouted to his companions to wake up since there is an enemy attack, but the enemy advises him to stop wasting his breath. Hearing the enemy's voice, he soon realized it was Pharaoh all along, while he continues to tell him to not bother shouting, since he has surrounded the area within 5 meters of him with his magic silencer, so no sound will be able to escape from this place. And then they both take out their weapon, while Pharaoh laughs at him and asks if he really doesn't understand the gap between them. He responds that he does, but all he needs to do is cause a large enough commotion and wake up everyone. But before he could even swing his hammer at full strength, Pharaoh already passed by him. As Pharaoh compliments that was smart of him, but he couldn't do that since he already cut all his ligaments and tendons, defeating him instantly. Now in death's door, he asks him why kill them after giving them hope, which he replies that he is just doing what the Saintess asked him to do. Only after experiencing hope can one create the purest form of despair. After a while, Wazzy and Piggy wakes up since it is almost their shift. Then he wonders why no one called them, but his question was answered instantly after seeing the corpse piled in front of them. The shock could be seen on his face, but suddenly he saw Pharaoh dragging Muscle Uncle's body. Then Pharaoh states that he originally didn't want them to see this, and apologized since he couldn't protect them, and blames the criminal duo for being too sinister. They killed everyone without making any noise. If he wasn't alert and woke up in time, he would have died too. Wazzy runs towards everyone and Muscle Uncle, but Pharaoh says to him that he knows it is hard to accept, but they need to persevere while he covers Muscle Uncle's corpse. Then he notices the picture of Muscle Uncle's fiancée is on his feet, so Wazzy takes it, while he could only question why, since everyone was so happy last night, and he tries to hold his tears, but still couldn't because the situation is too much for him, as he could only asks why did it turn out like this. Pharaoh tries to comfort Wazzy, as he tells him that they need to stay strong. They have to take down the criminal duo, and avenge them. This debt of life, he will make sure to make those two vicious bastards return it tenfold, and he swore on his name that he would kill the criminal duo and bring them to justice, and they must kill them so that their brothers and sisters may rest in peace, while he uses righteous persuasion, which Wazzy is still heartbroken, so he agrees with Pharaoh. Pharaoh tells Wazzy that he knows he is still young, so he understands that he is agitated, but he advises him that they cannot let their emotions get the best of them when they fight their enemies. Wazzy responds that he knows that and he just wants a few minutes to say goodbyes to Muscle Uncle, which Pharaoh permits him to, so he turns away and wait for him up ahead. Now they tell Muscle Uncle to rest in peace, and he will make sure to avenge him. Then he places the photo on Muscle Uncle. At the same time, Wazzy adds that if he ever meets his fiancée, he will personally pass the news to her. He then decides to turn the picture around, so that Muscle Uncle can look at her and may rest in peace. But then he was shocked to see a spiral pattern left on the picture, as he wonders what it is. After that, they are now traveling towards the core, and they encounter various monsters such as an angler mushroom, then a stinger mushrooms, and a shroom bee, which Pharaoh dealt with efficiently. Still, he wonders why it seems like all the monsters are coming after him. Wazzy explains that it is because they know he is stronger, so they go after him first, which he believes Wazzy's reason. Still, the monsters had wasted too much of their time, while he was wondering what the identity of the criminal duo was, and that there were no signs of that gunslinger that can hide in the mouths of the angler mushrooms, since not only they are proficient with the gun, they can also even control monsters. Then they decide to just keep moving, because they might get surrounded if they stop, and as they walk, Wazzy looks at the wound of the monsters that Pharaoh killed. Suddenly, he connects it with the symbol on the picture, He doesn't want to believe it, but his trust on Farrell started to waver. While this happens, the criminal duo is spying at them from afar. Few moments passed by. They are now at the entrance of the core, but then Piggy tells Wazzy that she is hungry. He realized that Piggy hasn't had anything to eat since they woke up, but he didn't expect that they would spend so much time here. So they're completely out of food, while Farrell is still in front of the entrance, as he is thinking to himself that this core area should be behind this door, and he is sure the Saintess will be delighted if he brings the treasures and these two back. So he puts his hands on the entrance and with all his might, he tries to push it, but it didn't move an inch. Now he is wondering how weird it is that he feels like his strength was being absorbed by the door. With no choice, he can only try breaking it. So he backflips to retreat to have a momentum for his attack. And now he used quick draw drill shot barrage, striking the door simultaneously. It made a crack on the surface of the door, but it returns back to normal. Wazzy was surprised to see not only it can stop Farrell's bullets, it can also heal itself. But Farrell has few tricks to show, as he quick change and turn his gun into a dagger, and he charge at the door, slashing it few times, which Wazzy was surprised that Farrell can also use daggers, so he assumes that it might have been really him who killed his companions. So now he plans to get away from him, but he knows that he can't make it obvious, or they might get killed if he gets alerted. Now that Farrell's attacks on the door were healed, Wazzy steps up and asks Farrell to let them try. He then whispers to Piggy before they try something. Then Farrell asks what he is planning. He responds that he is not sure if this will work either, but it is a combo skill that he can use with his teammate, and it is a special skill that only the two of them can use together. But before they start, he tells Farrell that he is too close. The ability might hit him, so he advises him to stand at least 30 meters away. Farrell was suspicious, but he followed Wazzy's warning, and now that he is far away, Wazzy used Decompose to create a hole, but he need to control it so that it is only big enough for him and Piggy to go through, and he knows he only has one chance. At the same time, magic started to burst and filled the place with it, as Wazzy tries his best to control his power to make an escape, and now that his hands began to sink in the door, he commands Piggy to push him with all her strength. So she did, and went through the door together. Farrell realized what is happening, so he tries to catch up to them, but the door has returned back to normal. Now he know he was played. While on the other hand, after the decomposition was complete, Wazzy receives experience points and obtained a new ability called Spore Manipulation, and a single-use Great Wall Mushroom. Now that they successfully went through the door, they ran as fast as they could, while Wazzy thought to himself that the symbol at the back of Muscle Uncle's picture must be telling him about the drill shot. And now that he knows Farrell can also use the blade, it would explain the cut wounds on all those bodies. And since he dared to use the blade to attack in front of Piggy and him, it probably meant he was getting ready to get rid of them too. While he asks himself why is it always the human heart that is the most twisted, why he was stupid to fall for his speech, and why did he trust him so easily before, he decides that it doesn't matter now, and what matters is that he needs to focus on finding a way out first. Then as they ran through the dark hallway, they saw an exit, so they ran faster, but to their surprise, it led to a descending stair path, which Wazzy landed on her cheek while Piggy perfectly landed on her feet. And as Wazzy opens his eyes, he now realizes he is in the treasure room. They saw murals on the walls as they looked at the room, telling a story about the past. Mushroom people were present in it, but now was not the time for sightseeing. So Wazzy quickly approached the treasures, and since he remembered someone saying there was a teleportation scroll here, hence, he searches for it. He soon realizes that there is too much stuff in this place, so he asks the system if it can take everything here and help him sort them, which it says that it could, but suddenly he is alerted by an upcoming danger, so he grabs Piggy and dodges the upcoming bullets. Wazzy wonders how he catches up so fast, and the difference in their level is too high. They can't fight him head-on, so he needs to buy time for the system to find a teleportation scroll. Therefore he used manipulation, combined with his Great Wall of Mushroom. He believes this should hold him for a while, but he hears a loud sound like an explosion, and with each strike, he knows Farrell would be able to break it soon, and after a few more strikes his worries were right. Farrell easily break the wall, as he explained that all he had to do was hit the same place a few more times for it to break, and as he steps closer, he asks Wazzy to tell him, when did he realize it, and asks if was it fun toying with him, but with no choice they get ready and they take out their weapon. At the same time, the criminal duo was surprised to see Wazi's mushroom rapier, while Feral is still spouting his bullshit and stating that he was surprised Wazi was able to escape the influence of his righteous persuasion, so his mental strength is higher than he expected. He originally wanted to take both of them back, but it seems like leaving one of them alive is enough. As he vanished, he appeared in front of Wazi, and was already holding his hands, and attacks him. Wazi activates Sage Mode, but the attack was too fast. Even with the Sage Mode, he still needs help seeing his movements properly. But before he was hit, Piggy attacks Feral from behind, which he halts his attacks on Wazi to block Piggy's attack. But now Piggy is the one who receives Feral's attack and is now on the ground, while Feral tells Piggy to calm down, since he is sure the Saintess would love to get her hands on her, so he advises her to be good and stay there. At the same time, Wazi attacks him as he has turned his back on him, but Feral easily blocks it, and turns towards him, since he will now sentence Wazi with death penalty, and without hesitations he attacks Wazi in a frenzy, while Wazi could barely even keep up at all, and he even receives the kick from Feral and was sent crashing to the treasures. Now on the ground, his will to live still wasn't diminished, so he tries to take out his potions, but as soon as it appeared, Feral shoots it. Now only despair is on his eyes. Then Feral stomps on him, while Piggy was hopeless as she couldn't even stand up. Now at death's door, Feral says his goodbyes and pulls the trigger. But the bullets were blocked by the mushroom crown, and the criminal duo appeared behind Feral. As soon as they make their superhero landing, they sigh at how the humans just love to go around killing each other. But still, it doesn't matter. With them here, their chance of survival is 0%. At the same time, Wazi is wondering what's the glowing thing in front of him is. Then the gunner sighed, since she initially thought they would finish each other off. But things changed a little bit. As Bayu emerged from the smoke, Wazi was surprised to see the gunslinger, and afterward, Kage also emerged from the smoke, which surprised Wazi even more, to see him so short. So he asks if he was a dwarf, which Kage was angry at him for calling him a dwarf, so he corrects him that he is a shinobi. While Feral points out that they keep on saying human this, human that, it is as if they aren't human themselves, and so he leaps to attack them, while in midair he happily states that it is convenient for him that his cover story he made up comes true, and the two of them will make the perfect scapegoat. All he has to do is kill them and tell the others that they are the criminal duo. But as he spouts his bullshit, his weapon was dulled with a single slash. Now Kage teach him a lesson about his movements being too excessive, and he might as well go back to peeling potatoes with those skills. After that he used mushroom skewer pierce, attacking Feral multiple times. Now Feral realized he is dealing with an expert, and he was caught off guard, since he didn't expect these two to be so strong. So he quick change and used drill shot towards them, but his attacks was easily dodged by the two. As he steps back, Bayu mocks how pathetic he is, since he is proficient in both the blade and the gun, but a master of neither, while Feral has still few tricks with him, as he launch a bullet that swerves and attacks her from behind. But Bayu only felt disdain by his attempts, while Kage was serious about it, as he blocks the attack for Bayu, so Bayu could focus on fucking up Feral. As he received damage, he was shocked to realize that these two are stronger than him, and he wonders what these experts like them doing loitering around here, instead of taking the treasure away. So he assumes that they are also here to collect despair, and they're the Saintess opponents, so he plans to get out of here and warn the Saintess. And as the action happens, Wazi now could finally stand up, so he goes straight to Piggy. He sees she is still unconscious and in a critical state, so he tells her to hold on, and gives her a health potion right away. Then she regained her consciousness, and as soon as she opens her eyes, she saw that Wazi is in front of her. Therefore she hugs him fiercely, but Wazi received damage because of this. Meanwhile, Feral retreats while he takes out a mysterious bullet, and shoots it in the air, casting a transmutation curse. Now he laughs because with this bullet the Saintess blessed him with, even the strongest opponents will fall before him, and as Kage launches for the kill, but the curse finally took an effect, while Feral laughs hysterically, since he believes he is the one ending them. Not only does it heals him, but it will place a powerful curse on all his opponents, turning all of them into monsters. Now they are surprised that they are back to their original forms, while Piggy waves at Wazi, and goes over to him, as she circles around happily at Wazi since she can enjoy his mushroom spores again. Meanwhile, Feral is still on his high horse, as he believes that there is more than enough time to kill them 100 times over, and tells them to feel despair as they struggle like babies trying to learn how to walk. Their movements, their magic, they will have to relearn everything. And of course, he won't be giving them time to do that. No matter how strong they were, they are nothing but low-rank monsters now. And as he finished his dialogue, Kage can't help himself but laugh, and thanks him for what he did, which Farrell was confused, and Bayu responds that he is the one who will feel despair, while Kage is set to give him his 100% gratitude. This makes Farrell even more confused as he feels that their aura is getting stronger instead. But his worries are not needed, since Kage has already passed by him, and with a cross slash, he was granted a quick death. Now lying on the ground, and as he was dying, he could only wonder why they had gotten stronger after turning into monsters. At the same time, he refuses to die like this, as he still needs to go back to the Saintess, and wants to stay by the Saintess's side, but he can only hold onto his badge, and his despair is absorbed in it. After the battle was ended, Wazi asks Piggy what are they going to do now. Then something clicks inside Wazi, as he realizes the samurai in front of him is the Yasuo mushroom uncle that killed him, while the two generals are planning to kill them. Even if they appear to be harmless, Kage approached them. Now in front of Wazi and Piggy, he raised his sword. Wazi pleads that they are all mushrooms here. Suddenly Kage halts his attacks, and it seems like he is struggling. Then he drops his sword just right on front of Wazi's jewels, shocking Wazi to his core. But Kage suddenly kneels, and it turns out, his body isn't listening to him. So he assumes he can't control his body anymore because he has stayed in human form for so long. But as if that can stop him, the chance of him letting an enemy escape is 0%. So he grabs his sword again and tried attacking Wazi and Piggy with a cross slash. But he was suddenly forced to kneel again. But now the crown is in between them. With this, he should realize by now what is happening, but he is an idiot, as he was still wondering what happened. On the other hand, Bayu realized at the moment she catch a glimpse of it. Meanwhile, Wazi and Piggy, after opening their eyes, saw the crown, glowing with a bright aura. This made Piggy excited, and went to the crown to lick on it from all directions, which Kage was in a rage to witness, as he sees it as a desecration of his tribe's legacy. So he leaps to Piggy, and attacks her, but Wazi steps up to block the attack. Therefore he was forced to kneel again, and since he was stubborn, he tries again, which he failed again, but he still struggles to get up, since he refuses to believe that he can't kill them. After 10 attempts later, he should know it by now, but he still tries and fails again, while Piggy still has her tongue out. As she was ready to lick the crown again, Kage shouted at her to stop, but she continued to lick it. Now defeated, he accepted reality, while Bayu calls him an idiot for still not understanding what it is happening, and that is all because of Wazi, which Wazi was also shocked. So he tells them that they must have misunderstood something, since he doesn't know anything either. But suddenly the crown started to float, while Piggy tried to catch it, but it floats straight to Wazi and drops on Wazi's head, and merged with him. The system congratulates Wazi for obtaining a heritage item, which shocked him, but suddenly an aura burst inside of him, and a crown mark appears on his mushroom cap. After that, the system appeared in front of him, informing him that he had completed the Ancestral Ruins exploration mission, in which he obtained experience points and a superior teleportation scroll, and he completed another mission, the Final Evolution, and also the King of a Race mission, in which he obtained a massive amount of experience, and 4 abilities, such as King's Majesty, Race Mastery, Domain, and Reverence Strengthening. He wonders what all of this is, so he opens his attribute panel, showing him that he is now a level 60 Mushroom King. He couldn't believe it. At the same time, Kage couldn't believe it also, as he believes Wazi is a human. So he stands up and tries to take back the king's heritage, but he is forced to kneel again, making him look like an idiot, even to Wazi's standards. Meanwhile, Bayu now raises her gun, aiming at Wazi, and tells Kage that he will never be able to hurt him with his attacks, while Wazi tries to reason with her, and suggests talking things through like civilized mushrooms. However, she still pulls the trigger, so Wazi just closes his eyes and braces for the attack, but the bullets are just fireworks, so they are amazed by it instead, and Bayu finally can say to His Majesty that they have completed his final mission for them, and have found the new king. So without hesitations, she approaches Wazi and kneels before him, and greets the new Mushroom King, shocking both Wazi and Kage. Hit that like button and thanks for watching.